A warm welcome to all my lovely audience on Icy Tales today. Today we have with us Mr. Ronak Vora, who is a men's lifestyle specialist. As the name suggests, he makes the lives of men much more easy. So welcome, sir. We are very happy to have you here. How are you feeling and how does it feel to be here?
Thank you, Eva, for inviting me out here. And I'm doing wonderful. And I'm glad even you are.
Great.
And it's good to be on the show. Thank you for inviting.
Same here. So let's just start by getting to know each other. So tell me something about yourself and what does your work revolve around?
So I started my journey as a IT guy, right? I began my journey into corporate back in 2017. I did that for a year. And then, there was, it didn't click me. You know what I mean? So back then, fitness was my passion. I have been, weightlifting. I've been active into fitness and personal development almost over 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So after quitting my job, I decided to, build something for my own venture. And with some brainstorming, with some thinking and doing, I found out that today's men are going through a lot of struggles, be it mental, physical, emotional,
Yep.
And being a man myself, I had gone through some of those challenges myself.
Yeah.
So that I decided that I have to be the torch bearer. I have to take up the charge and I have to do something for the community. And that's when I decided to go full time into my coaching business and mentoring business. And I built the India's first men's fitness community. Currently, we have over hundreds of men in our community, and it's growing actively.
Very, very nice to see your successful journey. So let's dig in deeper into what you do. So, what is it like to be a men's lifestyle specialist, and why did you choose to be one?
So I'll say this that to be a men's coach in today's time is to have a lot of women calling you sexist, a lot of people calling you, oh, why are you so, sexist? Why are you so gender specific? But they don't understand that women have been provided with a lot of female communities, female friends, female well-wishers. But what about men? It's said that men can take care of themselves. I feel that's true, but at the same time, men also need other men to give them direction, to be there for them, and to create a sense of brotherhood.
Right.
Right? Because nobody can thrive if he's fighting the battle alone, be it man or a woman. A person can only thrive when he is around the right kind of people, right society, and right kind of community.
Correct.
Right, and that was my goal. And because I did not get all of those factors while I was growing up, right, and I had no mentor, no one to really teach me all these values, principles that a man should imbibe in today's time. It's not about making money, right? I always say this, that a man, if he's only running there and making money, is living a incomplete life, because that's not what a holistic or a true definition of a man is.
Right.
Right. And well, again, we haven't learned these things in our school and our colleges, and society has somewhere failed to provide us with this kind of education.
Yep.
Right. And so I decided to learn all those things myself. I invested my time, efforts, money, and energy into learning from mentors who I resonated with. And I took those learnings, I implemented it. I'm still implementing every day. I always say this, that a coach or a mentor should always practice what he preaches.
Right.
So that's what inspired me, to begin this journey as a men's coach. And if you ask me about what is it like to be, as I said, right, you get a lot of comments from people and a lot of criticism, but I don't it doesn't bother me anymore, because my mission, my purpose is much more stronger than the excuses of people. They don't hinder my growth.
Yep.
So I speak to a lot of men every day, and I come across them as lacking clarity, lacking direction, feeling powerless, because again, it goes back to the kind of content we are being feeded every day, right? There is not much empowering content. And even if there is empowering, but जो disempowering है उसका ज़्यादा weightage है. So it kind of outlasts. So my typical day with my clients would be to guide them, make understand them, audit them where they're coming from, because men also have a lot of traumas, a lot of issues from their past, right? But again, as I say this, a man cannot be fully awakened if he's suppressing himself.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? If a man is suppressing his emotions, he is not really becoming his ultimate version, right? And for me and for all my clients, my ultimate goal is to help them reach at that ultimate stage of human development, which is we call as superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
Which is he's completely aware, conscious, he's fully aware of his mind, body, emotions, and he's know absolutely what's happening within. And he can, be the best leader. He can be the best father, become the best husband, become the best son for the people out there.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how we can build thriving communities. So that's how my typical day looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my work consists of most of the times.
Thank you so much, sir. Your entire journey was very, very inspiring and valuable. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that. Also, on your Instagram bio, I read that you have spoken on platforms like TEDx and TSM, and I was very, very I love TED Talks basically. So I was very interested in asking this question to you. What have been some of your major learnings while being on these platforms?
Right. So I wasn't on TED, but I was on TEDx. They had interviewed me.
Okay.
So again, as I said, that when you are on a mission, when you are doing something that's kind of different,
Yeah.
the universe supports you,
Yes, correct.
right? Because there is truth in that, there is purity in that, and
Yeah.
there is something that is in the welfare of people. So that's how I got featured on TEDx, the Successful Male magazine, Passion Connect, and a lot of several magazines. So my learnings being on that platform was that the learning that these guys are promoting, the calling all the entrepreneurs, inviting all the professionals across the world, and sharing their lessons, their failures,
Mm-hmm.
their stories will inspire more people, will inspire more youngsters.
Right.
And my message on that platform was again the same, right? I always say this, that when you are at a position where people look up to you,
Yeah.
make sure that you are very righteous. You provide them with truth and do not sugarcoat them.
Right.
But if you tell people the things that they want to hear, you are again doing an injustice to their growth and to your presence in this world.
Correct.
So I always go with this agenda of making things as it is, showing them a bigger picture, showing them the truth, and showing them a mirror, because we don't get those things today. And the reason I work with men is because men don't get call outs. Nobody calls out men. And that's why, we see a lot of people going towards diabetes,
Yes.
overweight, obesity, blood pressure, and, they are addicted to medicines, right? It's because nobody's showing them a mirror.
Right.
And if we want the society to thrive, it's the duty of the wife, the kid, to tell the husband. And if
Mm-hmm.
if wife is not doing what she's supposed to do, it's the duty of her husband and kid to tell, to get them on the right path, because that's how we can build thriving communities.
Yes.
That's how we can have more happiness, health, joy, and love amongst each other. Because when you go towards the road of, when you walk on the road of, so one of my mentor always tells us this, that there are four kinds of people. One who is walking from darkness towards darkness, meaning if his life is in trouble, depressed, sad, he's going more towards alcohol, drugs, and going towards darkness.
Right.
Second kind of people are who are going from brightness to darkness, meaning who are on the right path, but due to wrong influence, due to wrong circumstances, due to wrong circle, they are drawn towards the bad habits.
Right.
Third category of people, which I like to work with, is who are coming from darkness towards brightness.
Yep.
So they have had a past, they haven't had a good past, and that's okay. They had did not take care of themselves. They did not give them the kind of love and affection they needed. But now they're walking towards the right side,
That,
right? The third category. And the fourth category is who are walking from brightness towards brightness.
right.
Whose life is very good. They are happy. They are joyful. They are loved, and they are now, embodying more of that and spreading more of that.
Very great thoughts again, especially the four category thing. I was like listening to it and it was very, very true. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that. Let's move on to our next question. So, being a man and a men's lifestyle specialist, what is your opinion on pseudo feminism?
On pseudo feminism, well, I have been always against this radical feminism. That because again, if you just look at nature, if you just go back 1,000 years ago, a man's role was to protect, provide, and a woman's role was to nurture and to give love and to create more of belongingness.
Yes.
And today, I think with the wokeness, with the kind of lot of voices that are there on the internet, a lot of opinions that are there on the internet. Again, you can't stop someone to share their opinion. It's a free will, right? But again, it's a man should be wise enough, not just intelligent, wise, because wise is someone who has the wisdom, who can differentiate between truth, right? And there are two kinds of truth. Truth that is subjective, truth that is objective, right? Subjective meaning, what is my subjective truth? What do I understand? How do I perceive the world?
Yes.
My view on feminism has always not been supportive, because I feel that's not righteous, because that kind of takes away the rights, and it just empowers men, and it just tells that you don't need a man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't need a man, you wouldn't have been born today. I mean, that's simple, right? If you did not need a man, who would fix your washroom if there's a leakage in your gas tank? Who would fix your car?
Yes.
So they just go nuts sometimes. It sometimes kind of it aches me that uh, these people who claim, who are a lot of feminism bucks, or I would say feminazi,
Mm-hmm.
have kind of lost it in the whole world, and they haven't been able to find the real truth, right? Why is this agenda being widespread? Who is spreading this agenda, and what is the motive behind these people who are spreading this agenda? Because we have to understand that we are living in a 3D world, right? We are living in a kind of matrix, right? And talking from a spiritual point of view, ultimately you have to get to the truth of the thing, right? And I can't say these things on a virtual platform like this, but maybe if we can take an offline conversation, I would be happy to share my thoughts. But the point is, feminism, if done in the right way, meaning if the woman stays in her feminine presence, right? Meaning the way she is loved, joyful, blessed in her divine feminine, the divine masculine would appear, and the divine masculine and divine feminine would have a great role together, like which you see in Shiv Shakti, right? Those were the kind of things we have been taught. Those are our it's in our DNA,
Yes.
right? Because we all are child of universe. We are all child of God, right? If you go back, if you go up to the hierarchy,
Mm-hmm.
there has always been a mother and a father, जिसके हम सब सारे
Yeah.
बच्चे हैं. So I think feminism is just another I would say trend, um, but I wouldn't support that, and none of my clients support that, because we believe in the truth. We believe, we stand by the right, uh, you know society pillars, because society stands on pillars,
Yes.
right? And if the pillars are not strong, society would crumble down,
Mm-hmm.
and society meaning your families also would crumble down.
Yep.
So having a strong masculine role model, having a strong masculine presence, and having a strong feminine presence can really change the view of the world, right? But again, things
Yep.
like feminism would just be like the weeds in a in a beautiful plant.
Right. Thank you very much for sharing your opinion. It was a wonderful answer, I must say. So, moving on to our next question. What has inspired you to have a men's fitness community?
Right. So as I mentioned to you about entering into this niche of helping men and serving men and making a change in their life, being a men's coach. And I always felt that men needed a community, a sense of belongingness, right? Because if you see people who climb mountains, Sherpas, they don't usually go alone.
Mm-hmm.
There are people, tribes, who climb, trek together. If you look at marathon runners, they don't go for marathon running alone. They have a group of people,
Yes, correct.
right? So society, we humans have always meant to be in communities.
Mm-hmm.
You just go back into our primal time, 1,000 years ago. Our ancestors lived in communities. Be it a group of 5 or 10 or 7, doesn't make a difference.
Correct.
But there was community of people, right? Community of strong male role models, young, cute kids, and beautiful feminine women.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the nature was, right? But again, if you mess with nature, nature has its own ways. That's why people like me, people like other ones who are supporting our mission to bring back the authentic masculinity is going to come, because universe always has to have a balance,
Yes.
right? There is yin yang, so men's fitness community is a community for Indian men, right? And the mission that we have is to transform 10 lakh Indian men, building a strong mind, body, and Atma, so that they become the strongest version of themselves and they can lead their families, society, and the community. And our vision is to, you know, uh, create a community of supportive male role models.
Yeah.
Because when you have when I have uh, 10, 20, 30 men across the world, they can inspire other men and they can inspire other men. It's like a ripple effect,
Yes.
So that's what our mission and vision is.
And from our side, we would like to wish you all the very best for your 10 lakh. Your goal was 10 lakh, right? So all the very best, and we really hope that you achieve success in
Thank
this.
you.
Uh,
Appreciate
mov-
it.
Moving on to our next question. Also on your Instagram bio, I read that you have trained more than 1,000 men worldwide. So what is something that you've learned from them, which you'd like to share with us?
Um, so that's a great question. I think from my experience of coaching men from the age of 20, 22, 35, 40, 45, to from students to the executives and CEOs of the company, the patterns are very much similar. Meaning, the fear exists in their mind, the self doubt exists in their minds, the conditioning of society exists in the mind, and the myths, the myths, and I would say the statements that are ingrained in their mind, which are not serving them anymore,
Yeah.
is the problem for their growth, right? Because there are no external factors that can stop anyone. It's only the internal factors that you have to overcome, right? If you take a look at all the philosophers or all these great thinkers, they always say this, that the enemy lies within, the vices are within.
Yep.
Vices could be as simple as fear, self-doubt, low self-image, greed, lust. If one can overcome all of these, he wouldn't be in a turmoil, right? So what I've observed is that most of the men I speak with, the men I advise, the men I coach, they all have some level of these blockages in their mind, right? And again, these blockages have been throughout the past because of society, parents, and the cultural thing that one is brought up in. And it's important to take out these blocks, right? Because if the tree has to grow huge and big, the roots has to be strong.
Right.
If there are weeds, insects in the roots, the tree is going to fall off, right? So my goal with all the people the men I talk to, and my experience has always been that I always work on their foundations, meaning how do they see themselves? Because oftentimes we often get into this thinking of LKK,
Mm.
log kya kahenge.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are no external enemies. There's always internal enemy that you have to defeat.
Yes.
Right? If you look at all these warriors, if you look at the people in army, if you look at the samurais, they don't fear no one
Correct.
because they have fought their own fears.
Yes.
Right? So as a man, I always say this, and I do this myself. I have to have fight my own fears every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone can fight their own fears, no one can stop him. He becomes the unstoppable force of nature,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
But again, we are living in a time today that there is constant bombarding, information overload,
Yes.
and there is distraction all around you. It's distraction all around you. So then one has to really come from a place where he genuinely desires
Mm-hmm.
success,
Right.
not just want to flirt with success. If you're flirting with success, it's like a short-term relationship. You just swipe right and the success will swipe to left. That's how it works, right? But if you're genuinely coming from a place of purity, if you are genuinely desiring success, success is
Mhm.
going to chase you. People don't understand that, right? In
Yeah.
my work, in my introspection, I have understood this, that when you're not chasing, that what you chase
Mm-hmm.
chases you back.
Right.
So the point is, you have to become attractive. You have to become, you have to vibrate on the energies where you attract things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So that's what I do. That's what I'm passionate about, teaching men and empowering them on this level. But again, there are blocks that people come from, and I don't judge from where they come, because everyone has different start point, right?
Yes.
But
Right.
as I said, right, there are four categories of people: dark
Mm-hmm.
to dark, dark to light. So people who are going from dark to light, it's like they are going into a pattern of self sabotaging. And people today love pain. They
Mm-hmm.
want to be in pain, isn't it?
Yes.
If someone has gone through breakup, take a look at them. They want to listen to more of emotional songs. They want to go and look at her pictures or his pictures
Mm-hmm.
and think of all the memories. Go for a ride and think, oh, we had our dinner here. So that's the human psychology. We kind of love to be in pain, but that's self sabotaging,
Yes.
right? So someone has to call out that, hey, listen, man, it's not working for you. You have to get out of this, negative downward spiral.
Right.
Because once a man goes in downward spiral, it becomes very difficult for him to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
so that's what all of my life's work is devoted to. All of that I do is about. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope I've answered your question, not in
Yes.
a direct way, but I've given you multiple perspectives.
Yes. Yes, you
Yeah.
did. Yes, and also your references were on point. So thank you so much for making the conversation fun. I really enjoyed it. We've come to our last question, and this is, I think, should be very, very close to your heart. Tell us something that you love about your profession.
About my profession, okay. So waking up every day with
Mm.
the mission and vision in my mind, that I have to conquer this. Because growing up, I had a dream to enter into army,
Okay.
serve beyond just my means.
Mm-hmm.
But due to some circumstances, I could not get a chance to go there. But then again, as I said, God and universe has its own ways
Mm-hmm.
for you to give things. If you are truly commit, if you're truly genuinely desiring something, in some way or form, the universe will give to you,
Yeah.
right? So this is what my mission God gave me, right? Is to serve the men, uplift them, and not let them face the or problem that I have faced. So that's what excites me all the time. Creating content, speaking with people, meeting amazing entrepreneurs, CEOs, executives across the world,
Yeah.
having a lifestyle of freedom. I mean, I'm my own boss. So there's no one to answer. But then again, I'm answerable to the one that is sitting on top of me.
Yes.
You know. So having that understanding, having that wisdom, and just accepting that we are blessed to be alive. I mean, there's nothing that a person should complain about.
Yes.
I've seen pets with no eyes, with no legs, and it's hurtful, to see pets. They can't do anything. They can't. No one would give them love, right?
Yes.
They can't ask for love. They can't speak. They have to be in that pain. And I've seen kids. I've seen small kids having no parents, growing up without parents. I've seen kids with having special disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we really complain about? I don't understand. Sometimes we have gotten everything that we could dream of, right? I mean, that's what it is, right? जब कोई चीज फ्री में मिलती है उसकी वैल्यू नहीं करते हैं.
Correct.
So all of my days just goes mostly in being grateful, not really running out, because I have been through intense meditations myself. I have been through intense self work. So if you would have spoken to me 3 years ago, you wouldn't have been listening to this wisdom that I'm sharing today.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is intense inner work that a person goes through.
Right.
So that's what I do. That's what my being is to be be grateful and offer my gifts to the world, and just being a channel of change,
Right.
because we all are channels, right, through the medium of God. We are not here for permanent.
Yep.
There's something called as impermanence, right? Everything can change.
Yes. Correct.
An earthquake can happen right now, and we all could be just gone in one of second, right? It's all unpredictable. So why not live a life beyond our own selfish motives?
Correct.
That's what I wake up with, and that's what I sleep with.
Mm-hmm. Very, very nice to see your thoughts, especially the last question, like the way you answered and all the content in it was very, very nice. And I really loved your answer. So thank you so much for giving us your time. So I think we had a really nice half an hour session where I got to learn so many things from you. So thank you so much for sharing your inputs and knowledge with us.
I really appreciate this, Mariam. I enjoyed this as well. You are a great host.
Thank you so much, sir. Very nice to know that. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day and do take very good care of yourself.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.